and this does kind of mirror a debate in the U.S. House as well. What's your take on that? Was there too much spent, or was it about right?
Thank you very much for that. We were sitting in those meetings yesterday, and we had the budget office come and share with us to see exactly where we were last and trying to trend out where in comparison from these other sessions. What I had shared, and I'm on record for saying this, is if we can't understand, and there's so many things that this budget is too big, then how can I go back to my constituents and give them a clear answer? So there has to be on the website. We have to be, and I'm going to use that word transparent out there, but there has to be an easier way to say how much we spend, how much we save our taxpayers, how much that we do supply as government to Montanans.
But too much or too little, it sounds like it's maybe too much of a monstrosity to even get a hold of right now.
Exactly, and that's the whole problem. And that smoke and mirror stuff like that will cause these problems. It's going to cause people to banter back and forth, because if you don't have a clear picture, then how can you send an elected official who doesn't have that picture? So what we have to do in the state, as well as we have to do in D.C., is make sure that budget office is giving the same numbers to the individuals that are in charge of that power of the purse.
All right. Dustin is in Missoula on line 3 listening to KMPT and joining us here on Voices of Montana. Dustin, thanks for your call.
Yes, I just had a question based on Common Core standards. What your thoughts were like on that, and also implementing it in the state of Montana?
Yeah, still getting a lot of phone calls about that subject. Common Core. Dustin, thanks for your question.
I appreciate that question too, Dustin. You know, I've been on the ground for 21 years teaching these kids, and Common Core has been in our state now in my district for about 3 years, and I have questioned it and challenged it and seen exactly, is this going to make kids more successful? Is this going to make our children in Montana want to stay in Montana, want to even go on into any further higher education, or going to get that job? Last session, I chaired the Education Interim Committee on this and asked those very direct questions. Had a bill that was going to say, let's bring the legislative discussion into this. This is representative government, and as a result, it was vetoed. So we've got a lot more discussion that we have to look at to see if Common Core is going to improve education for our kids. And if it isn't, then we need to do something different, because right now there are challenges.
Yeah, what are you hearing from other teachers just about some of the Common Core standards that have already been implemented? I know certainly seeing not the credit cards. Well, we're talking kids. We might as well be talking credit cards,
sure,
given the federal debt. But report cards. I mean, those are vastly different than what maybe we might be used to. But that's just one small piece.
Mm-hmm. Common Core is an issue that's going to continue going forward. Something that everybody, parents, teachers, need to really look at this. And I'm very much concerned about the local control. Again, this is another top-down thing. There were so many grants that the federal government gave for school districts to implement this. But as a result, were parents at the table? Were school districts really understanding this? And this is going to cause a challenge to my rural districts as well, not just my larger AA or my A districts. So there's a lot of discussion we still must have over this.
All right. Tom is in Bozeman. Let's just keep the phone lines going here as we talk with U.S. House candidate Elsie Arntzen. Tom's on line 2 listening to KMMS. Tom, thanks for your call.
Yeah, thanks. Good morning. Ms. Arntzen here. I'm wondering, there's 2 questions. One, where do you stand on a woman's reproductive rights? I don't see anything on your webpage here specific to that. And you keep citing the $17 trillion national debt. $1 trillion of that since the Nixon administration is from the failed drug war. Would you continue the failed policies that have been in place since the 60s? Thank you.
All right. Thanks for your questions, Tom.
Tom, I appreciate that. You know, I'm very proud of my 100% voting record for pro-life. And I can just tell you, as a mother and as a grandmother, I'm 100% pro-life with that. And when it comes to failed policies, I mean, the big word is failed. If they've failed, we don't need to have anything involved in that. Speaking of that $17 trillion debt, $6.6 trillion of that has occurred over this current administration, and that's just way too much.
Well, we've only got about a little over a minute left to go here on Voices of Montana. Of course, Elsie Arntzen, we offer up all the candidates a chance to give kind of their final pitch, well, not final pitch, but at least final pitch for today to the voters out there. Maybe your final thoughts for folks, and also kind of your reaction on what's taking place on the Democratic side of the aisle when it comes to this race. Kind of looks like they're trying to steer all their money towards one candidate, a career staffer to Senator Max Baucus.
Thank you. I appreciate this. And again, what a wonderful thing to get my voice across the state of Montana. All I can tell you that I know that I'm that fresh, positive approach. I've been born in Montana. I've raised my family in Montana, taught 21 years in Montana, and I've got that Montana work ethic that I think we're all so proud of. I also know that I'm going to do something different. Congress is there's things that are broken that are back there. There's communication that isn't taking place. There's so much gridlock. So what a fresh new approach that I'm going to be offering that state. Now what the Democrats are doing, I can't tell you, but I do know that if somebody authored Obamacare and somebody is going to put that as their bee in their bonnet, not going to go there. But thanks again. Appreciate it so much.
Elsie Arntzen, I know there's much more to follow up and much more to talk about, but we're out of time for today.